The revelation of the revelation. The four Gospels explained by their writers by Jean-Baptiste Roustaing, 1881. Source: www.tinyurl.com/the four Gospels. Salt of the world. Matthew, chapter 5, verses 13 to 16. Mark, chapter 9, verse 49, and chapter 4, verses 21 to 23. Luke, chapter 14, verses 34 and 35, chapter 8, verses 16 and 17, and chapter 11, verses 33 to 36.
Matthew, ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt become tasteless, with what shall it be salted? It is then worthless, except to be cast out, and to be trodden down by men. Ye are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be concealed. Neither do they light a candle and put it under the measure, but on a candlestick, and it gives light for the whole family. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works, and may glorify your Father in the heavens. Mark 9. Salt is good, but if the salt has become unsalted, with what will you season it? Have salt in yourselves, and live in peace with one another. Mark 4. And he said unto them, Is a candle brought to be put under the measure, or under the bed, and not to be put on the candlestick? For there is nothing hid which shall not be made manifest, nor anything secret which shall not come to light. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. Luke 14. Salt is good, but if the salt has become tasteless, with what shall it be salted? It is neither fit for the land nor for the dunghill, they cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Luke 8. And no one when he has lighted a candle, covereth it with a vessel or puts it under a bed, but sets it on a candlestick, that those who enter may see the light. For there is nothing hidden which shall not be brought to light, nor secret which shall not be known, and come to light. Luke 11. And no one having lighted a candle, putteth it in a secret place, nor under the measure, but on the candlestick, that those who enter may see the light. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is single, your whole body is also full of light. But whenever thine eye is evil, thy body also is full of darkness. Look therefore, lest the light that is in thee should be darkness. If therefore thy whole body is full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light, as when the candle gives thee light with its brightness.
Section 76. Spiritists should understand these metaphors. Salt here represents the principles of a man's own character, which he ought to diffuse around him. It includes morality, love to God and submission to the divine laws, and thus the savor of man consists in his observance of all the laws of God and Christ. If he is led astray by evil tendencies, he loses sight of the end which he should attain, and the means of reaching it, he loses his savor, and is cast out. That is, the guilty spirit who has failed in his earthly experiences is first subjected in the errant state to appropriate moral sufferings or tortures corresponding to the faults which he has committed, and then to reincarnation, either on your earth or on the inferior planets, according to his degree of guilt, where he is forced by new trials to redeem the past, expiate his offenses, and advance. He will be cast out. He that has ears to hear, let him hear. This will take place when the regeneration is about to be accomplished, and your planet will no longer be inhabited except by good spirits. The spirit who still remains guilty and rebellious, will then be removed from your earth, and cast down to lower worlds, where he will have to expiate for long ages his obstinacy in evil, and his voluntary blindness. Need we explain to spiritists such metaphors as the salt of the earth, the light of the world, and the candle which is not put under the measure or under the bed when it is lighted, but on the candlestick, that all who enter the house may see the light, and be enlightened? These words of Jesus refer to all ages, and apply to all men who became the apostles of a revelation which they seek to propagate by word and example. You are the salt of the earth and the light of the world at the present day as respects the new revelation, as were the disciples of Christ for the revelation which he brought them by the gospel teaching. Need we say, you have received the light, but not for yourselves alone, and you should share it with your brethren according to the necessities of each. Enlighten them, Raise the torch which sheds around this blessed light, and wave it aloft that its rays may shine on all sides, that all may be enlightened. When Jesus said, "There is nothing hidden which shall not be known, and nothing secret which shall not be brought to light, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear," he spoke of the future. Jesus gave the men of that period teachings which were appropriate for them, and seeds which should bear fruit in the future. His obscure discourses were intended to be understood by future generations, and some have been chosen to comprehend this. That is, some men have not accepted the letter literally, but have sought for the spirit, comprehending that the mission of Jesus was not to set a barrier to human intelligence by assigning definite limits to it, but rather to open space and the future before progressive minds. Christ spoke in figures and symbols, because human intelligence was not yet strong enough to bear the weight of the revelations which were hidden under the veil of these parables. Judge of this, ye who still walk them. Nothing which man ought to know should remain concealed, and man has reached a point where his knowledge ought to increase rapidly. But let not your pride imagine that the time for the accomplishment of all things has arrived. Your spirits are still too much darkened, and you are still like inexperienced children who approach the fire imprudently, and are severely burned. Be careful, and watch over yourselves. Warm yourselves at the fire which God prepares for you, but imitate the prudence of Moses, and do not yet approach the burning bush too closely, lest you should be consumed by the flames. Be patient, God is preparing great events for your regeneration. Prepare for them while you quietly and steadily follow the path which we trace out for you. We will lead to the spot whence flows the infinite light, but let us spread our protecting wings over your eyes, which are too weak to endure its powerful rays. Your conscience is the torch of your heart and mind. If your conscience is pure, your heart and spirit will be enlightened, and everything in them will be luminous, for you will be aided, inspired and protected by good spirits. If your conscience is evil and impure, your heart and spirit will be in darkness, for you will have become the prey of the evil spirits of error and lying. See, therefore, that your conscience, which is the light within you, does not become true darkness to your heart and spirit by its impurity. You will retain peace within you by preaching what you teach by your own example. The revelation of the revelation. The Four Gospels explained by their writers by Jean-Baptiste Roustaing, 1881. Source: www.tinyurl.com/the4gospels.